What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today, CG has announced that 3v3 Grand Arena is coming. This will be battles of 3 characters versus 3 characters. There has been some suspicion in the past that this was coming. There has been some speculation about it, and here it is finally confirmed. Now, what you're going to have with this is no ship battles. It's going to be just 4 sectors of just character teams that you're going to fight. Now, what this means is that we are naturally going to have more teams we have to set on defense because they're smaller teams. However, we weren't quite expecting this many. We're expecting maybe 1 or 2 more teams in the highest bracket of 4 million plus. At 4 million plus, you have to set 11 defensive teams. That is a lot. A lot of people are not happy about that. I can't blame them. For this video, I want to go over 12 teams for you guys that I like to set for defense here. There are 3-man squads or 3-woman squads, you know, that you want to throw on defense. I think they hold very well. They have a lot of stuff going for them. With that, let's go ahead and get over into the teams for defense for Grand Arena. So the first team I have for you guys tonight is a sort of Sith Triumvirate team. You have Darth Traya lead with Gar Saxon and Sith Trooper. Pre-taunting characters are very, very solid for defense. That way that you're forced to go for that one character who's already taunting. You have to dispel it before you can go for the other characters here. Those kind of tanks that you can get in there with those pre-taunts or the constant auto-taunts, that's who you want to go for. Sith Trooper works great here. He automatically comes with defense up. Gar Saxon is great here because he can constantly dispel with his AoE. He can gain a buff that pretty much makes him hard to kill, and then if you do kill him, he then revives, and then he can deal a lot of damage to characters that have pain. This very solid trio of characters here for the Sith. You really want to focus on some Sith characters here. I mean, you have some other Sith characters you can throw in, but really, I think these 3 characters right here, very solid defensive trio. Now, next up, we have some Scoundrel love going on here. We have the Kira lead, L3, and Young Han Solo. With this, your Scoundrel allies regenerate protection every time they score a critical hit. L3 constantly taunts, gains a lot of bonus turn meter, can give the allies tenacity up. Very, very strong character here. And if you do have Young Han and you have the Zeta on him, he is going to be pretty good here, because with that Zeta, he can constantly assist whenever a Scoundrel ally takes any action. He can start stacking up a lot of offensive damage. It takes some time, but once it gets up, it really starts to hit hard, and with that special that deals a lot of damage, he can also regenerate protection on allies. So overall, this squad, very good at regenerating protection. You have L3 with a constant taunting. You could throw in Vandor Chewie here somewhere. I think if you took out L3 maybe, and put Vandor Chewie in instead with that Zeta on him. So that could be good there. You could also probably replace Young Han with Vandor Chewie. There are some flexible options here for who you can switch in and out. Very strong Scoundrel team that we see a lot already on defense. Narrow down, choose these 3 characters with maybe an option or 2 that you can fill in their place. Now, next up, we have this team. Now, in my original videos for Grand Arena, I said this was a very strong offensive team. However, I've been finding out, among other people, this is a very strong defensive team. Now, the leadership for Karth, you will want the Zeta here. Whenever damage over time is applied to an enemy, all Old Republic allies recover 3% health and protection. And then you have Mission and Zalbar. Now, there are 2 Zetas that you can put on those 2 characters. The only other Zeta that I really recommend here is Mission. Mission has a Zeta on her. Whenever Zalbar takes any action once per turn, then she is called to assist. So if he counters, which is going to happen quite a bit, she is then called to assist. Now, with the Karth lead here, any Old Republic ally uses the basic attack, then another Old Republic ally is called to assist. Pretty much this means that whenever Karth or Mission uses a basic attack, there's a 50-50 chance that Zalbar is going to then assist, which then calls in a Mission assist as well. Zalbar can constantly taunt, he gains stacking defense, a lot of crit avoidance, and if you do get his Zeta, he gains a lot of protection regeneration for damage over time effects applied to the enemy. He can apply damage over time effects, Mission can apply damage over time effects, and then Karth starts gaining stacking crit chance and crit damage, gain a lot of bonus turn meter. Overall, very, very deadly defensive team if you underestimate it. So, really like this team for defense. Now, here we go, a Night Sister team. This is not one that you'd usually expect. Night Sisters with an Old Daka lead, Zombie, and Acolyte. Now, this is an interesting one because you don't really see the Old Daka lead a lot. Night Sister allies have plus 50% health and 50% defense. Now, Zombie's gonna die a lot. Zombie's gonna constantly come back, because, you know, it's those Night Sister zombie, it just keeps coming back. Night Sister Acolyte can stealth, be very hard to take down without AoE abilities. So really what's going to happen here is Old Taka is going to gain a lot of stacking health if you have that Zeta unique there. You don't have to have it, by the way, but if you do, very helpful here. Basically, Zombie is going to keep taunting, taking a lot of damage, and keep stacking that health on Daka. But already you have plus 50% defense on these Night Sisters anyways. Very, very strong defensive team that's really deadly for a lot of people who've been underestimating it. So a team like this on defense, it's good. Next up, we have a First Order team. I mean, we knew this was going to be here anyways. Kylo Ren Unmasked lead with the masked Kylo Ren and the First Order Executioner. The masked version of Kylo Ren can give a lot of turn meter to your team. He can also stun, he can regenerate protection. If you have the Zeta on his unique, don't have to have it here. Really, the only Zeta here you're going to want is the leadership for crew. But, I mean, we already have that anyways. Most people have that anyways. This one, they gain a lot of bonus crit damage, bonus speed. They gain 20% turn meter when they score a critical hit. They regenerate health and protection when they gain a status effect. I mean, overall, very strong between those two characters. And then throw in First Order Executioner. He's guaranteed to land critical hits against debuffed enemies. He gains advantage. Anytime he scores a critical hit, he gives allies bonus turn meter too. So now, here we go. Jedi Revan. I mean, we had to bring up the Jedi. And Revan's going to be in here because, you know, there's a lot of people who have Revan. A team like this, oh no. I do not want to face this team on defense. Revan with a Zeta Jolee and a Grandmaster Yoda. Jolee is going to constantly revive characters. Grandmaster Yoda is going to do a ton of damage, and Revan can heal your Jedi, he can swap turn meter with them, he can mark a character for buff immunity and stun and remove turn meter. Honestly, this could make a good offensive team as well, but I can imagine this will be pretty much a nightmare to face on defense if you don't have the right team. Jedi Train Ray could probably take it down, which means that she'll probably be in the offensive version of this, but a team like this, it has very few counters, and it's gonna be an annoying team to fight if you have to fight these three characters and if you have to find another team of three characters to use on them as well. Now here's another more friendly Jedi team, a Bastila lead, Old Ben, and Ayla Secura. Now get the Zeta lead on Bastila here because at the start of the battle, Jedi allies gain 15% turn meter and protection up, which cannot be dispelled, and Jedi tank allies gain taunt for 1 turn. So you have a pre-taunt in this team already with Old Ben. Now Old Ben is going to gain some bonus turn meter, which then means he goes a bit faster, and then he can use mind tricks to remove turn meter, apply ability block, offense down. Not a good thing that you want to face. I mean, that's a rough one that you want to face. Now Ayla, she can constantly counter. And when she counters, if she lands critical hits, she stuns the target for 1 turn. You have Bastila who can then apply her buffs to Ayla, give Ayla bonus crit chance and offense and stuff. Jedi have some pretty strong defensive variations that you can throw in there. A team like this, no. This is another team that you do not want to face on defense. Now here we go. How about some bounty hunter love? Bosk lead, Boba Fett, and Dengar. The leadership with Bosk, you want the Zeta here because anytime that a debuff is applied to an enemy, all bounty hunters gain bonus health or recover health and protection, or if those debuffs are resisted, they also recover health and protection. You have a lot of AoE debuffs with this team. Boba Fett can do an AoE ability block, Dengar can constantly throw out his mini mind mayhem, which does a lot of debuffs that this team gonna be very durable. Boss can constantly taunt, he can cleanse debuffs from bounty hunter allies, he gains frenzy, he gets them offense up. So overall I like this team because there's not a lot of strong counters to it. Next up, we got another Sith team here for you. Count Dooku lead with Fallen Bastila and Sith Assassin. I don't like this team. I remember the days Count Dooku was the lead for Arena. Don't like it because the bonus evasion up and the offense up for 1 turn whenever they evade an attack. Those were not good days. Those were dark days when Old Ben and Count Dooku were the arena meta. Now, with this team, you're going to have a lot of shock. Count Dooku can apply shock with his Force Lightning ability, but what then happens is then you can combine this with Fallen Bastila. Her Wild Lightning ability can apply shock to enemies as well. Now, if the target already had shock when she uses the ability, she then deals special damage to all other enemies. Now, another really fun thing here, Sith Assassin gives a lot of bonus turn meter to this team with her Dark Shroud. For every buff that she has, Sith allies gain 12% turn meter. So, you know, there's that. She has Electrocute, ignores protection, goes straight for health. Yeah, this team, very deadly on defense. It's a pretty nasty team to underestimate, and this is one I really like because that constant evasion with the offense up, we have always found those to be hard teams to fight because they're just so annoying. I think this team fits that criteria pretty well. Now here we go. How about some Rebel love? Zeta Jin lead, Captain Han Solo, Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. This is a nightmare of a team if you can't prevent revives because everyone here can revive in some way or fashion. Jin, with her Zeta lead here, start with that. Every time a Rebel ally gains a buff, they recover 5% protection. Pretty cool there. Now, with her Rebel counterattack ability, for each critical hit that is scored, revive a random Rebel ally with 20% max health. Captain Han Solo, he can also revive. With his Search and Rescue, revive a random defeated ally at 1% health. If it is a Rebel, they recover 50% health and 50% turn meter. Also, pretty good there. I mean, you have two of the Rebels with him. Scarif Rebel Pathfinder constantly taunts, and if he dies while he is buffed, he is revived with 15% max health and 20% turn meter for each living Rebel ally. So 30% max health, 40% turn meter. Yeah, this team. I mean, this would be a very, very annoying team to fight. I mean, you have to prevent revives because if you don't, someone's gonna get revived and you just cannot stop it. This is not a fun team to fight. All the revives here, the constant buffing with everything going on, no thanks. I do not want to fight this. Also, Captain Han can cleanse debuffs. Did I forget to mention that? I think I forgot to mention that. Yeah, this team's not fun. Here we go. How about another bounty hunter team? Aura Singh lead, Embo, IG-88. Now, with this team, they can gain stealth, and every time they attack while buffed, they fulfill the payout. And then once they have that payout, they have counter chance, they can gain stealth, and they can also regenerate health and protection whenever they defeat enemies with that payout. So if you are going to run this team, make sure you Zeta this here, because every time they defeat an enemy, they gain stealth for 2 turns. They have bonus offense while stealth. Now, the other two characters here, Embo, he can do some pretty nasty damage, so can IG-88. He does a lot of bonus damage per debuffed enemy. He can apply heal and immunity. Embo hits like a truck. This is a very strong defensive team that you can easily underestimate. You don't want to underestimate it. That's the strong thing we're finding with some of these defensive teams. If they seem pretty weak at first glance, that probably means there's something hidden there that's going to give you a hard time. And that's what you want to go for these defensive teams. You want to find something that, you know, underwhelms people at first glance until they go to fight it and then they're like, oh, crap, this is actually a really strong team. That's the kind of defensive team you want to go for because you want to maximize the number of attempts it's going to take to defeat your team. And we have our final defensive team, and you can tell we're starting to scrape at the bottom of the barrel because we have a Gar Saxon lead here. Now, you don't really need the Zeta lead here with Gar Saxon because it's only health regeneration whenever they counter. Not really that strong. I don't recommend going for it. Now, what's going to happen here is Gar Saxon gives your Empire allies counter chance and bonus defense. Bonus defense, very good for a defensive team. Now, with that leadership and the unique here for Imperial Super Commando, he's going to have well over 100% counter chance, and he gains plus 15% for each enemy with no buffs. He also has this ability when Omega, which we'll go ahead and Mega it now, he has a 2-turn cooldown, Dispel, and Buff Immunity move, and, you know, does pretty good, which then ties into his unique, where he gains that bonus offense for enemies with no buffs, and then his basic that he's going to counter with can inflict offense down for 2 turns. If he is countering someone, it's gonna automatically double tap again. Royal Guard can apply speed down with his basic. He gains this unique with the stacking heal whenever an ally takes damage. He gains the auto taunt when an ally falls below 50% health. So auto taunt, that kind of stuff, on demand taunt, very strong here. And then finally Gar Saxon, with this, anytime that he attacks a character that has speed down on them already, reduces cooldowns by 1. His special here, Calculate Ambush, can remove turn meter, and then of course his unique, whenever an ally attacks during an enemy turn, aka counters, he assists. So you have the counter from Royal Guard, apply speed down to an enemy, Gar Saxon then assists, but it already has speed down, so then he just reduces cooldowns by 1. Very strong defensive team. I like it. It seems like a weak one, but you know, there's something here with it. You don't hear that every day about Gar Saxon, and I think that's more than enough for him. So, this is 12 teams that I like for Grand Arena Trio defense. There's some characters we're going to go through with offense tomorrow in another video to get you guys ready for that, because, ooh, it's coming right around the corner this weekend, so be ready for that. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you all have enjoyed it, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have enjoyed this video, learned a little bit about this, I know you guys really enjoyed the offensive and defensive versions of the Grand Arena videos that I did before with your 5v5 teams. So hopefully you guys find this version with defensive trios very helpful as well. So thanks again for watching, guys. Subscribe to PewDiePie, and I will talk to you guys later.